Let's talk about a class default constructor. And it's just that, is if you create an instance, what are the default values it's going to be set to? And in Java, this is, by the way, this is a method that is done inside the class that you're creating. So what you're about to do employee here in a minute, this is going to be done inside employee. A default constructor is actually already created using what's called auto initialization. I'm sure that probably needs a dash in there, but that's okay. Now, by the way, that's unique to Java. Whereas in auto initializing, it's going to set particular values to particular data types, or the other way around, really, in reality. So you can kind of, hey, if you want all of your integers to be 0 or something of that nature, then great, it takes care of that. But remember, you may not want a default value set to any of these that you see here. For example, if we did test scores, isn't 0 a legit score that somebody could take or get? You're probably going, yeah, so what? What if they didn't take it at all? Then why don't we use some other value to set those values to denote that, hey, they didn't take the test, or I have this all the time, a student gets sick, they can get a 0, they still have a -1 because they need to make it up or something of that nature. So notice the auto initialization is great, but it may not cover everything. So in this particular example, notice the name of the actual function, and notice there's that green highlighted area with parentheses, is the name of the class. In this particular instance, it's called student, and we're setting all the values very, very simply to, well, the values that we want. Now, you're probably also wondering, like, wait a minute, I didn't have to declare these 4 values, and again, we've already done that in the previous example. You'll see that we had test 1 set as integer, test 2 is set as integer. You've seen all of these actually set up within the class before, so that's how it knows how to do it. Now that we know what the code's going to be, and notice the code's stupid simple. There's not meant to be a lot of things in a constructor. How do we start, or actually use the damn thing, is next. Notice, it's very simple. Student hard equals new student. And notice that empty set of parentheses that matches the same empty set of parentheses that we have right there. So we know which exact constructor that we want. By the way, the constructors will change, so that's why there's a one-to-one match here. So yeah. So when we go ahead and print it all out, it's going to show all -1s using the toString function that you and I actually went over last week too. So again, some things that we've learned from before are rearing their head again. Here's what I want you to do. Create a very simple default constructor for employee. And by the way, they're not all integers. So heads up on that. And be thoughtful about how you want to set and what to set those values at. And we'll go over an answer here in a second. Here's the answer to the problem. You'll notice there's actually really 2 ways that you could have answered this using, well, notice again, the same thing is set up for each of them, for name, department title, and salary, and the same thing for the other side here. Using the word this, I'll go over a little bit, so coming attractions, but these 2 are basically the same, except for string on this one for name. Yes, I did put that as an empty set of quotes. Null is a better fit really for that, but you're going to see a lot of books do an empty set of quotes because, again, name is a string. Now, where is the damn thing placed? Well, here is our employee that we normally did, and we went over some of these gets and sets and stuff like that before, but here's where you would actually place the actual function. Yes, it's inside the class, and you really could have put it anywhere, but normally we put it towards the top after we've declared the data members for that particular class. So there's the data members, and then here is our first constructor. So I think you're going to figure out where a second constructor is going to go eventually. But notice this is not meant to be hard. Again, the other part is that we're trying to make it easier for us to use by putting in default values into it. So Ethan, right off the bat, has no name, has no department, has no title, and has a -1 salary. So we're doing that right off the bat without just creating this one line of code. If I put employee Lupoli equals new employee with an empty set of parentheses, it would do the exact same thing. So it's doing some work for us ahead of time, and that's great. That's exactly what a constructor is meant to do, is take care of some work for us preliminarily, and we can change it later using the setters and getters that we've got before. So nothing crazy. But that's our default constructor. And again, notice the empty set of parentheses. That'll come up here in a minute. I don't know why. Empty set of parentheses. Let's go to the next.